Welcome to Talk Dragon Ball. Why do I want to talk to you about anything? You guessed it, Dragon Ball. From Ball to Z, and everything in between. I'm your host, Kyokai1994, and today, I'll be talking about some of my feelings on the community, on why I think you should watch Dragon Ball, and explain what happens in the original Dragon Ball portion of the series. I've recently realized there may be a common theme in the answer to some of the questions I have asked myself while brainstorming for new content. I keep running into people who have not seen the original Dragon Ball portion of the series. They say they are huge fans of Z, which is great, and I'm all for loving and watching the whole entire series. But I feel you can't fully understand the characters or the series by just watching the Z portion. If you haven't seen Dragon Ball, or at least read it, you're missing a huge portion of the overall story. You don't start a book series on the 4th book, you start from the beginning of the series, and if you do, you go back and you read the first 3 books. But I've talked to a lot of people who just don't want to go back and watch the beginning of the franchise. If a lot of people watched or read Dragon Ball, some of these naive questions could be prevented from being asked. Now, after that, I want to first give a brief history on the Dragon Ball portion of the franchise. I will be highlighting character entrances and main plot points, so even though it's been 28 years since the last broadcasted episode, spoiler warning. The show starts off and we meet a 12-year-old boy with a tail named Goku, and a beautiful, intelligent 16-year-old girl named Bulma. They agree to search for the Dragon Balls over Bulma's summer break from school. On their adventure to find the Dragon Balls, Goku and Bulma meet an old master. His name is Kame-Sennin. You may know him as Master Roshi. For helping his turtle find his way back to the ocean, Roshi gives Goku the Kinto Un, or the Flying Nimbus, as a reward. We then meet a shape-shifting pervy pig named Oolong who is terrorizing a village to steal the girls. We later find out he was spoiling the girls and ultimately wanted them gone out of his castle. Continuing on the quest, they are ambushed by a desert bandit named Yamcha, who is scared of pretty girls, and his shape-shifting companion Puar, who went to shape-shifting school with Oolong. Yamcha is defeated by Goku only when he loses self-control after seeing Bulma awaken from her sleep. Yamcha flees, but they track down the gang to steal the balls. On their hunt for one, they run into the character only forged in scary tales. They travel to Fry Pan Mountain, which is covered in flames, and they meet Gaiomayo, the Ox King. After a minor encounter with him, we learn Roshi was his master. We learn he was a student of Roshi when Gohan was, and he asked the group to go find his precious daughter Chi-Chi. After finding her, Goku and Chi-Chi go to Roshi's to get the Basho-Sen, or the Bensho-Fen, to alleviate the fire from the castle. Roshi admits he threw it away after using it as a potholder after staining it with some wonton soup. He agrees to come down and put the fire out. Roshi blows up the castle with a huge Kamehameha, and they find the Dragon Ball. Goku tries and succeeds at doing the Kamehameha after seeing it once. Goku then agrees to get married to Chi-Chi the next time they see each other. He agreed because he thought it was something to have to do with food. Farther on into the journey for the Dragon Balls, the gang is attacked by the Pilaf gang, who schemes to steal the balls and make a great wish. After joining together and having all the balls stolen, Yamcha, Goku, Bulma, Puar, and Oolong are trapped in a cell in the castle of Emperor Pilaf, and his 2 henchmen, Shu and Mai. The Pilaf gang summons the dragon Shenron to grant them their one wish, and they have it stolen by Oolong, who escapes to foil their wish by yelling it first. Since Oolong made the first wish instead of Pilaf, we get the first wish on the Dragon Balls to be for panties, instead of for power. This results in the gang being put in a reflective room so that they will burn alive in the morning. The glass ceiling reveals the full moon, making Goku turn Uzaru, or into a great ape, and breaks out. After cutting his tail off, Yamcha and Bulma start a relationship that goes on for quite some time. Yamcha and the others decide to go back to the city, while Goku went in search for Roshi to be his pupil. While training with Roshi, a new adversary arises for Goku in the form of a 13-year-old monk boy from the Orin Temple. His name is Kuriri. Roshi takes him on as a student and they battle to be the best till they learn of the Tenkaichi Budokai. They live with Roshi and the 2-sided angry blonde bank robber to a purple-haired lovely nice housewife type named Lunch or Lunch. They train hard with their master all day every day for 8 months. They meet up with the rest of the old gang when they get to the city. They all make it into the finals, Yamcha, Kuriri, Goku, and a skilled fighter named Jackie Chun, who is Roshi in disguise. Roshi entered the tournament to keep his students humble and make them strive for the top and not be lazy winners. Roshi wins the tournament against Goku by only standing up and speaking the line, "I am the champion." The thing that Goku could not do even though he had stood first. It is a fantastic tournament and I love watching these fights. It's one of the greatest Budokais in my opinion. Goku goes on another quest for the Dragon Balls, which would cause him to cross paths and beat Colonel Silver. He is chased and searched for General Blue, who is ultimately taken out by the infamous Tao Pai Pai, or Mercenary Tao. Tao Pai Pai also beats Goku at the base of Korin's tower. Goku then climbs the tower and tries to drink the sacred water, or divine water. After getting it and drinking it in 3 days, he beats Tao Pai Pai and single-handedly takes out the entire Red Ribbon army. The gang then fights in a tournament put on by Roshi's sister Baba. The final match is Goku versus a masked warrior, who is revealed later to be his grandfather that he had killed years prior on accident after turning Uzaru by looking at the full moon and killing his grandpa by stepping on him. It is a must-see fight. It is a fantastic, tear-jerking ending. After 3 years, we see the whole gang again at the next Tenkaichi Budokai. Goku swam just to get there. The whole gang, Yamcha, Kudadin, Jackie-chan, and Goku make it to the ring stage. So did a new foe in the form of Tien Shinhan. Him as well as his old friend and fellow Crane school student, Shoutsu. A stunning fight between the finalists of Tien and Goku takes place. Goku losing when he hits the ground a second before Tien while they both were falling out of bounds. While eating a well-fought and well-deserved meal, Goku remembers he left his Niembo, or power pole, at the grounds. Kudadin says that he will go get it and just to relax and everybody keep eating. While retrieving it, he is killed by a henchman of a greater evil named Tambourine. His master and his father, named Piccolo Daimao. Piccolo gets the Dragon Balls and wishes for his youth again so that he can rule the world. Goku fights Piccolo and shoots through his chest in one great punch. With his last breath, he spits out an egg that turns into the Piccolo that most people would know in the Dragon Ball Z portion. After the battle, he travels up Korin's tower to Kami's lookout and trains with Popo and Kami. The next tournament comes by the finalists of Goku and the other being Piccolo Jr. They have a stadium-breaking contest that ends in Goku's victory, and them not holding any more Tenkaichi Budokais for several years. Goku and Chi-Chi at the end get married and start a family. This leading into the Z portion of the series. This was just my brief summary of the series. Now I'm going to talk about some of the reasons I personally think you should watch and or read the Dragon Ball portion of the story. Some reasons you should seek to watch and finish Dragon Ball is for all the same reasons that you love Dragon Ball Z. The story, the fights, the themes, and the comedy. I could keep going. To start off, you get to see all the background details for the main cast's lives, so you get to see them grow, making you care more about them in the Z portion. The main characters have their all-out battles with each other that result in becoming stronger. All of Goku's allies are won from first being his foes. There's a lot of great hand-to-hand fights with fantastic choreography, somewhat of a difference from Z since Ki Blasts were hardly used in Dragon Ball. It is interesting to watch Dragon Ball just for the fact that it all happens back before power levels were relevant, before we knew Goku was a Saiyan and would eventually unlock God powers. I feel the stakes are just higher and they put you on the edge of your seat. The series also has its tear-jerking moments as well, like the death of Kudadin and Goku seeing his dead grandfather. Other than great fights, Dragon Ball is filled with comedy and plenty of it. Physical and pun comedy with some slapstick and pervy comedy thrown in. The manga was initially to be a comedy, that martial arts just happened to take over in the Z portion. There are plenty of themes that flow through the show, like topics such as surpassing your limits, having to train with weights and do grueling training to get stronger and stronger. The whole series is based upon surpassing your limits of your power, and has very positive value that could be gained from the show, and can be used in your real life. Size does not mean that you're going to lose. This show has plenty of small people who are incredibly strong, and the show has them taking down some big villains. Sometimes it is a feat to overcome, and sometimes the opponent is beat with a simple maneuver or flick of the wrist. The last point I want to bring up is the voice acting. Of course, there are plenty dubs that you can listen to with many fine actors, but against most people's popular preference, I actually enjoy watching the show in the original Japanese language with the English subs. I enjoy hearing Masaki Nozaru, the original Goku, perform her fantastic role. I love hearing her voice age through the Dragon Ball series all the way through Dragon Ball Super. Some people complain about it, but if you watch the whole series starting from Ball through Super, the voice matches the character perfectly. I feel that way with most of the actors and their roles. I could go on all day about why I love Dragon Ball, so I just want to thank you guys for watching the episode. I hope the ones who haven't seen the Dragon Ball portion make the decision to actually go back and watch or read it. And to the ones who have seen it, I hope maybe I could refresh you briefly on what happened, or maybe brought up something you haven't thought about in the series. I want you guys to like and subscribe, and let's talk Dragon Ball in the comments. This is Kyokai1994, and I'll see you guys next time on Talk Dragon Ball.